The crowd has showed up. The Vitality fans are going crazy.
We're all looking forward to see, and it's Gen.G versus Vitality. The rematch, the storylines, they're all falling into place, but only this can determine what would be the next for these two teams. Now that they see and meet each other again. It's a Selena for Ashley. It's something that really took us by surprise. And I know it's a bit 50-50, a very mechanical hero, but I can't help but think it's also just Gen.G's way of speeding things up for the backshot and making sure that it's not left behind in terms of farming, because that's one of the biggest adjustments we've seen happen to this hero.
Especially if you've reviewed some of Vitality's earlier games yesterday. So Gen.G learned their lesson, and it's quite a bit of a refreshing thing to see onto Ashley's hand as well. It's going to be raining arrows here, but let's see if Shinny, or C rather, could dodge all of that with her umbrellas. Now, talking about Sayori as well with a gourd pick coming in clutch here, she wouldn't have a hard time clearing up the lanes, and most likely here for Vitality, they need to find a way to somehow set up the tempo here on through the early game.
And that's exactly what they compensated for, right? The fact that they might have lacked wave clear and faster rotations, but Arya...
Okay, being punished this early. Flicker already activated. Rui with a counter punch. Vivian and the rest will just disengage. It's Vitality with the discipline and clean disengages against Gen.G.
And the fast rotations from Gen.G as well, so you just really couldn't go in for the full commit. It feels a bit too dangerous to do so. So fortunately, they're keeping everything in check. They're not too behind as well in terms of speed and farming. But Vitality, they're just making their presence felt. Look at how they're showing up even right here in the purple buff.
It's all about the speed, right? So Gen.G wants it faster. Vitality could match up that speed. And now, right on cue, it's going to be the first objective here, targeted by Vival. And it looks like for Vitality, they have quite a good position here just to try and prevent Gen.G from ever actually taking this neutral objective.
I mean, it's pretty tough for Gen.G if they want to contest. This is an Arlot Akai in an objective fight, but yet they still decide to rotate towards the turtle. But can they find trades down?
Okay, the arrow will hit in onto Fumi Echo. Rui on the tight spot. An early first blood here for Fumi Echo. Vitality with a chase down. It's Panda 1 and Ashley going in for the trade up. That's 1-for-1. Arya on the front lane. That is an early aggression here from Vitality as well.
They've seemed to equalize things, and it's working out for Vitality still. Gen.G had to lose Rui, and that was the entire idea they were trying to fight against. The fact that the Baksha could feel a bit slower in terms of speed and farming, but then they had to lose her, so that slows things down a bit, even though they already had the presence of a Selena in their lineup. So now let's see how they eventually bounce back and get back into the game, because we haven't really seen much rotations just yet. And when I say rotations, it's more on the more successful ones, wherein you actually land these skill shots and make sure that they convert into kills, which you could get much more value out of.
Maybe they could compensate that with the arrows that Ashley is showing onto, and that's a quick kill here for Gen.G. Vivian on the other hand, going in hard. Fumi Echo left defenseless here. Traps is there. Vival and Fumi Echo combination here, hitting on the right marks here. Double kill. Vitality with an immediate answer. Panda 1 and Shell 1v1 on top lane. But let's go back to that pickup for Vitality.
Yep, they did not even need to rotate to find that pickoff, but it seems like Vitality still got the better of them at that moment. They got 2-for-1, and it's still the mid duo that's constantly being shut down. Now Rui.
Oh, it's making it harder for her to farm up. As you've mentioned, it's not even the complete word rotation. It's like, okay, and that's it. They're always being tracked down here by Vitality, continuously hunted down.
Yep, it's tough. Gen.G is a team with a lineup that we kind of expected to activate a bit more early on because of the threat of the arrows, the gourd as well with the supplementary burst damage. But it's taking a while for them to actually find these targets, and now they might have to rely on some of the mistakes that can come in from Vitality. This is a very reliable comp in terms of objectives, and now they're trying to go for another contest with most of their teammates ready and nearby.
another way to look at it is if Ashley can be able to land those arrows on the perfect target. That is a hard thing to do, knowing that Vitality has the mobility as well. As a follow here for Fumi Echo, and right on cue, Arya is forced to go on the front lines. That's a free hit here for Chell, and now Gen.G is down on one. Will they contest this one? I think they're trying to fight their way onto it. It's still Vival securing that neutral objective. Rui trying to run away with a shield unity. That is enough of a pickup right now.
That could have been a flame shot highlight if that flame shot actually resulted into a kill for Rui. But can I just say, this is an interesting turn of events. It's not that we expected the matchup in the EXP lane to turn out this way, but Vitality have had a very good answer to the Phoveus, despite it technically countering the R-Lot. Fumi Echo has had a much better time, and I guess it's primarily because of how Vitality have been able to choose their fights. Now even denying that orange... Oh no, it's Sayori. Sayori actually got the purple buff, but that was an attempt from Vitality to just further increase the gap that's already existing between them and Gen.G.
But still, right, they were able to compensate the direct counter for an R-Lot with the way that they move here onto the map. Now, we see a lot of flanks onto the way Arya fronts for Gen.G. And now, other lanes are also left vulnerable. Now, they're up against Ashley here, trying to find the right target, but they are still struggling. It's just too much of a tempo that Vitality already got. That's a 2K lead for game number 1, 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I agree. They're trying to stay proactive. They're trying to constantly move around the map and find whatever they can. It's just that Vitality seem too difficult to catch as well. Catch off guard, land these skill shots. So regardless if they actually find, let's say, Chini, right? Seems like one of the best targets at this point. She also has the Rasho Umbrella Flea, so that doesn't even make her the best target either. So Chell, at this point, always well guarded, and that's where you see it.
Oh, that's a perfect example of what you were just trying to explain. And for Gen.G, the moment that they land those targets, it's a bit too late already. That they've already been bursted down by Vitality, and now even though they've got the position, the damage just isn't there yet. Now another neutral objective is there. The arrow land onto Vival. So there's going to be a dash. Arya onto Chell. She's keeping her at bay, but going to give her free hit. She's stopped it. But a heavy spin here for Vival. Follow up here for Cini and Fumi Echo from the back. There's going to be a sandwich play here. It's Fumi Echo keeping Panda 1. VC even under the turret. Killing spree this early. Panda 1, you get the shutdown kill instead. But all of that advantages went to Vitality.
Yeah, that was 3 kills and the mid-turret that they were able to secure, plus a purple buff and eventually most likely a turtle as well. Multiple objectives and structures over to their side, and that's why the lead is just starting to balloon. They're not having problems dealing with any of the potential threats that we expected from Gen.G. Arya seems to be such a fragile target for Chell at this point. It's very uncharacteristic because of you expecting that the Phoveus would be the one to just keep this carry in check. But it's Chell making sure that she's the one who presents herself right in front of the Phoveus and not even caring at all because she's already equipped enough to shred this XP laner down.
It's afraid being the hunter at this point for Vitality. He just got this way on how to dodge those bullets here. Coming from Panda 1, Fumi Echo with assist. Final flush onto 2, and that's what we're talking about. It's kind of weird to see it's Gen.G falling over on those attempts of a tempo against Vitality.
Yep, they could not find that tempo. Now it's most likely playing for recovery for Gen.G. This is just too much dominance that we're seeing from Vitality across the map. And they're playing with heroes who I think even the panel highlighted as not so much part of the meta if you're mainly relying on them for your carries, because looking at their lineup, it's really around Panda 1 that you're really expecting majority of the scaling to come from, but it's not like Ranger is really considered as the most scaling marksman either.
It isn't.
It's likely going to be Sayori, but it's taking a bit of time. They're trying to set up, or their setups are taking a lot of time before we eventually see them executed. And now with Fumi Echo also picking up the Rose Gold Meteor, you could just expect this aggression to get even worse.
It's all about fights here for Vitality, making it harder for Gen.G to actually catch up. even though Arya could land a great Dark Wave even onto 2 to 3 members of Vitality, that still the damage isn't enough. We've mentioned it's Sayori that's taking a bit too long to really be activated if to go for the burst. And for Vitality, on the other hand, another way to totally compromise the jungler pattern here for Gen.G is to try and take it all over. Especially even onto the jungle camps. Gen.G couldn't even touch that one. Arya still got a perfect play on the shell. But still, the rest will just isn't there yet, Vivian. On a tight spot, but still, she will be able to back away. Instead, it's Jewelry and Arya falling down just before a Lord take even eventually comes in.
Gen.G definitely wanted to take on that fight. That was the pursuit that Arya risked, expecting the follow-up as well to come in. But the pin down with the heavy spin just made it difficult for Gen.G to even push forward because they already lost Arya. And it's a tough task for her and Rui at the same time. They're the ones who have to get in first. They're the ones who have to set up.
Yep.
But every single time they attempt to, it seems that Vitality are not even afraid. They're not rattled by the least because they already have Chell, who's currently 8.9k in gold, already completed the Trinity and is on the verge of completing her items. Whereas if you take a look at Panda, yes, she already has the Hunter Strike and the Malefic Roar, but this Sky Piercer, you have to wait until you actually get the value out of it. There's so much catching up that Gen.G actually need to do, and we're approaching the 12-minute mark. Fortunately, still have some of their holy shields intact, but they're on the verge of losing a bunch of their base turrets too.
Yep. Time definitely is not on their side here for Gen.G. You have to keep those stacks rolling in for Panda if you want to survive this task, this tedious task that Vitality tried to do. Both inhibitor turrets here onto the mid and onto the bottom side is being targeted here by Vitality. We fall yet again with heavy spin. It's Arya falling down. The front runner here for Gen.G is easily picked off, and now it's left for Ashley to land those arrows. But a flame shot kill here from Zini will seal the deal. Down 2 women here for Gen.G. All their base turrets have been totally destroyed here by Vitality.
And that is a flame shot highlight right there if you've ever seen one. It's been so long since we've seen a flame shot here in competitive play, but oh no, Rui gets caught!
And this is it. Vitality just exerts their dominance here onto game number 1. What cracks? There are no more cracks onto their formation, onto their domination, as they slowly choke out the life of Gen.G here for game number 1 alone.
I am starting to understand why the Phoveus was baited out of Gen.G and why they were just willing to let it go. Just look at how difficult of a time Arya is actually having on this hero. And it's just really something difficult to digest because it's a matchup that you really would expect to go her way. But it seems like Vitality have completely read out the kind of approach that Gen.G actually want to play into. They pretty much let them play the early that they want in terms of speeding up the farm, but other than that, they are not landing any of these skill shots. They are not able to maximize the early threat and presence of a double mage mid duo that they actually decided to field here in this game, and they're just taking it step by step because we're 12 seconds away until the next objective spawns, and with an 11k gold lead, this was mentioned by our panel earlier, it's very difficult to find a way around this kind of situation.
That is just too much to handle for Gen.G. Plus, considering that 3 of their supposedly damage leaders is linear. They're on a straight arrow, they hit or they miss. But most of the time, it's a miss. Because for Vitality, all they need to do is juggle around who will be getting the arrow, who will be getting all the skill shots here from Panda 1, and the rest could just go for the free hits. Now, Sini is still untouchable, by the way, with their Kagura pick.
Yep.
And it totally made sense. She has the mobility, she has the burst, and the flame shot, the cherry on top, just to finish things off here for Vitality.
Yeah, none of them honestly even opted to go for Purify. At this point,
Nope.
it's just really them adapting through the heroes that they've actually picked up. And I think it's also very dependable for them to have the Sakai in their lineup, because even when Gen.G decided to go in for multiple times, they just had to use it defensively, push them away, or even better yet, find the perfect pin down. But this is a Lord Siege incoming for Team Vitality. Let's see if it ends here.
Oh, another fight that's not connecting onto two members. Panda already down. Fumi Echo taking out Arya from the process here from Gen.G Esports. Is Shell locking in onto the tower. An easy game 1 win for Vitality.
They had zero plans